X grew up on late-night warnings.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Scared, straight.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
And were inspired by movies that defined a generation.
We were all pretty bizarre. Some of us are just better at hiding it, that's all.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I feel the need for speed.
We found our attitude in comedy.
I'm Gumby, damn it.
You see that sign?
No shirt, no shoes,
No dice!
Right. Learn it. Know it. Live it.
And our identity in pop culture.
I want my MTV!
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV!
What you talking about, Willis?
Keep your feet in the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
This is Gen X Men with Bill Rowland and Gary Dollarhide.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Oh, episode 41 underway. Bill Rowland and Gary Dollarhide. Welcome in, everyone. This is the Gen X Men podcast, and we are just mere days away as we record this on the 250th birthday of the United States. And people, Gary, are angry.
So here we go. Let's just jump into it.
Yeah, let's go.
I have been shocked at the negativity that I have watched, been hearing, experiencing over the 250th birthday of America. Like, I don't understand it. As I always say, and I can't remember what the famous quote is, we may not do things perfectly, but we tend to eventually get things right. And that is what has made this country great. And let's start locally. The state of Maine decided not to participate in the state fair on the mall. Okay. And it's being said it's a strict, the governor was not going to play with Trump on this. And I'm sitting there going, I'm not even sure how involved he was. And it seems to be a lost opportunity because it's not about Trump. It is about the birthday of our country, and to just go, no, we're not going to do it. I'm lost.
I don't get it. Look, I expect a certain percentage of people, and it could be, look, when Obama was in office, when Bush was in office, now with Trump, and it doesn't matter. There's always going to be that certain segment of people that no matter what you do, they're not going to be happy.
Correct.
Fine. I discount those people. They're worthless to me anyway. And look, I've said this before. I didn't vote for Trump any of the 3 times that he ran. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Obama. I didn't vote for W. I didn't vote for any of these people because 99% of politicians, I think, in my opinion, are worthless. They're only out for their own power and money. They don't care about you. And if you think they do, news for you, they don't. Okay,
they don't.
Now, that being said, I'm not going to mention whose office because then it'll paint a whole thing. I had to do a project, a non-partisan. This wasn't helping anybody to get reelected or anything like that. It's for a charity. We went and had to film something in a congressman's office today on July 1st when we're recording this, right? So I was like, this is going to be cool. I get to go downtown just a few days before the big celebration. I'll be down there near the Capitol. We weren't in the Capitol building. We were in one of the office buildings across from the Capitol, but we drove right there and got dropped off with our Uber or Lyft or whatever it was. I got to say, it's an absolute disaster downtown.
Is it?
I love Washington, D.C. I was there for the 200th birthday. I still remember almost being 5 years old, just a couple weeks from my birthday, and being there for the 200th, the bicentennial celebration. And we had a neighbor of ours that worked for the Treasury Department. So we were able to go down. And again, this is before all the madness that ends up being D.C. I don't remember it being that bad getting in and out. But again, I was like 5. But I remember sitting on the steps there at the Treasury Department. I think that's the building that we were at, and watching the fireworks and being like, this is unbelievable. And making that impression on me that ever since then, if it wasn't too hot or it wasn't crazy or anything else going on, I always tried to get downtown to watch the fireworks. I've been down there for the Beach Boys until Reagan, I think it was it Lee Atwater that said that the Beach Boys brought in the wrong kind of element, which
or
is
something. Yes.
hysterical to think about today. I mean, I
right.
When he said, I was like, the Beach Boys? What are we talking? Like, this is ridiculous. And of course, years later, the Beach Boys were back, and John Stamos is up there, and they're playing Kokomo, and I'm like, yeah, these guys are attracting the wrong element. John Stamos and his hair, the wrong element. Get out of here. But so, and because you used to come down with us when we were all in college, my fraternity would go down to Gravely Point, which is the park right next to the airport, and you would sit and play volleyball all day and drink and eat food, and you could watch the fireworks from there because it's right at National Airport, so you could see them. Or sometimes we jump the metro and then just metro into like the Smithsonian stop, literally stand there at the metro stop and watch the fireworks and then jump right back on the metro to head back to National Airport to then get your car from Gravely Point and go home. So I've never been one of these people that's like, oh, you can't go down. That's dangerous. And no, it's fun. It's a great time. Again, if it's not 105 degrees. I've been down there when it's been, blazing hot and you get a thunderstorm and it sucks. But you know what? Everybody laughs. Mm-hmm. As long as nobody gets hit by lightning, you're soaking wet and, because it thunderstorms at 6:30 and the fireworks aren't until 9:30. Everybody just kind of goes, well, this sucks. But, hey, it's fun. It's like going to Meriwether Post here in D.C. if you go to one of those outdoor venues and it rains and everybody starts doing like the mudslides down the side of the hill. It's good fun. So anyway, so I've always liked doing that. Driving down there today, I want no part of it. Really? It's fenced off. It's a disaster. They're not doing the fireworks until like 10:30 at night.
Too late.
Start.
Too late.
It's supposed to be this. Oh, it's going to be 800,000 fireworks. I'm sure it's going to be unbelievable, but not at 10:30. I even heard it might even not start till 11. Like, what are we doing? Like, this should be for families and kids.
Yes.
What kid wants to stay up till 11 o'clock? Well, I'm sure the kid wants to. What kid's going to make it after he's been outside in the heat all day long to 11 o'clock and not be a cranky little kid, which I wouldn't blame him. Here's the other thing. You used to be able to take blankets, chairs, coolers. Oh, yeah.
I remember seeing the people on the metro, the times I lived there, you just packed up for the day and brought it all with you in wagons or whatever you could.
Yes. And yeah, you had certain years, depending on what was going on, mostly post 9/11. Pre 9/11, it was a free for all. It's like, whatever.
Yes,
and
it was.
Never a problem. There's never a problem. Post 9/11, you had certain spots like checkpoints where you came through to get onto the mall itself. Fine, whatever. I mean, I get it. To a certain degree, things change. You got to be safe. But you could always bring chairs. You could always bring coolers. None of that is allowed this year. And from what I read, and who knows if this is right or not, because let's face it, both sides love to put out lies and misinformation. All you had to do was look at all the reporting on the reflecting pool over the last 2 weeks, which has been an abomination all the way around. But I've heard that if you're not on site, if you're not at the mall by like 1 or 2,
okay, you're
not getting in. Like, they're not going to you can't show up at like 7 for the fireworks, which is, again, this is ridiculous. So,
I mean, well, take me back, because I don't recall.
I've had it with this. It's ridiculous. It's dumb.
Okay, I don't recall having those kind of restrictions. It was you want to get there early to stake out a place, but it was never if you're not there, you can't be here. Like, I don't understand. Is it that fenced off all the way up and down the mall?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, we drove down. Our Lyft driver took us to drop us off across. We were at the office buildings. I think it's the Canon office building. Whatever the other one is. It starts with an L. I don't remember. Dropped us off right there. And so we drove all the way down Independence pretty much the whole way to get to the Capitol. And yeah, fences. And I even commented to the guy that I went down there with. I'm like, I feel really bad for the National Guard folks because they're in full
gear,
dress gear. This is still we were down there at 8:39. I guess it was about 9 o'clock that we got there ish, and I was like, they're going to be miserable in about an hour, and about an hour and a half, 2 hours. When it starts hitting 85, 9, it's like I get it to a certain degree, but like you shouldn't have to be there by 1 o'clock. And again, if I'm wrong on that, I'm just going by what I've read. I could be 100% wrong. I don't know. But from what I've seen for people and read, you have to be there by like 1 or 2 o'clock, and no coolers, no chairs. Like, what are you going to do for? Just sit on the ground? Like, what are we doing? It's ridiculous. Anyway,
so they've ruined it. They have ruined it because, I mean, I realize this is coming from someone our age. If you start giving me all these rules, I'll be like, "Yep, not going." Yeah, exactly.
Cloud. Get off
At
my
best, I might go over to Arlington somewhere, try to have dinner, and then hopefully see it in the sky. But I'm not going to fight my way in downtown for that nonsense.
No. It's so again. I going back to your governor not wanting to participate in the state fair. I think is a mistake.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, for everything, there both sides doesn't matter. When Obama's president, when Trump's president, when Biden, whoever it is, there's always that small amount. They're like, "Oh, I hate this president. Blah blah. He's ruining everything." No, they're not. All the people who started screaming about Obama back in 2008/9 when he was inaugurated, being president, how the country was not going to survive. Well, you know what? Here we are, 10 years after he left office. We're still here, and you can make the argument that you think, well, they're not going to be here much longer because Trump's building a bunker and he's not leaving. I got news for you. The dude's not going to make it to the next election, in my opinion. I'm not saying anybody's going to shoot him. I'm saying he's 80. Odds, if you look at, the table of statistics, he's not going to make it to 82. He's just not. Look, Mitch McConnell's disappeared. Where's he?
Right? Where's he hiding now?
You know what? I'm not going to say where I was because I don't want to. It's not fair to them.
Yep.
There was a lot of conversation in the office that I was in today about what's going on with Mitch McConnell. Like legit, like he's been gone for a while.
But his votes still seem to come in.
I don't know if that's true. He hasn't been seen for like 19 days. It's no different than what was the congressman from New Jersey
that they found in
Kearns, I think. Was that his name?
Maybe I don't remember, but what, found him in the nursing home or something?
No.
Oh.
That was the woman in Texas.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. No, Kearns is the one from New Jersey. Just in the past like 6 months, that like off the face of the earth, like just poof. Gone.
Alien abduction.
He's not an old guy like McConnell. Like I want to get mad at all these conspiracy people like McConnell's dead and they're not telling us, because I'm like, I want to be like, I don't think he's probably in the hospital, probably in ICU maybe, because he's 84. He's 84. All these people, none of these people should be around. And I'm not one of these people that's like, well, no, we should have an age limit at the top end for because there are.
We all know. We all know when. Yes. Enough people know when to say when.
Yes, but apparently these politicians don't. And it's not just a Republican thing. It's not just Mitch McConnell, because I can remember Dianne Feinstein being this way too. So don't start with you're picking on a Republican. Shut up. Just the Republicans. It's both sides. They all suck, as I said.
They all cling to power as long as they can, and that's the game. And I'll be honest, for those who don't know, because you still live in DC. I live. New people work in government. And a lot of times, it's not even the person; it's the people around them, because they want to stay in their positions of whatever it is and keep things going and looking a certain way.
Yes.
So let's all.
As soon as Mitch McConnell's done, all that staff, you're cooked.
You got to find a new job.
Yep, all of them. So anyway, meaning I don't know why the state don't want to participate. It ain't about Trump. Trump's going to be gone. No one's going to care. But you're hurting the reputation of your state by just like being. I'm going to be a little kid. I'm going to take my ball and go home. Just stop. The whole reason that we've managed to make it 250 years and are still around is because, for the most part, everybody went, yeah, I don't like the way you think. I don't like the way you think. Yeah, that's all right. We're still America. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's still you're still one of us. No matter what argument that I have with anybody, any kind of discussion that I get into people, the bottom line is I look at them and go, at one point, you must have liked this country because you stayed. You didn't move. You didn't leave. And a lot of times people are still coming here. So you got to be doing something, right? Like to me, it's like all these people that are bitching and complaining remind me of them looking at a restaurant in their town and go, this place sucks. And it's because there's a line out the door of people wait and you can't get the reservation where you want to eat when you want to eat. That's to me, I'm like, it must not suck because there's a line to get in.
Yes.
I don't know what to tell you. So, yeah.
Yep. No, it was a sad thing here in the state because they tried to angle it first as a budgetary thing. And then there was a few, I wouldn't say well-known in the state, maybe not outside the state, said, oh, we would have handled that. And then everything went quiet after that.
Right.
Because, I mean, on the forefront, I'm sure if the state of Maine went to LL Bean and said, hey, you mind picking this up, helping us here? They would have done it.
Yes.
And like I said, there's other companies that I know that exist here that said, oh, we would have pitched in, we'd helped. So money was not the issue. It was we're not going to be a part of this. Right. And to me, that's sad. There's a lot of things you could draw the line in the sand politics wise, but this one didn't have to be that.
Right.
So,
right. And I love all the people that were screaming. The Supreme Court came out with a couple of, verdicts or whatever you want to call it, rulings. And like one would come out and everybody like, see these people, they all suck. And then another would come out and they'd be like, oh, they're backstabbing Trump. It's like, people are not like 5 minutes ago, you're like, these stupid conservative judges are ruining everything. And then 10 minutes later, another thing comes out and the other side's going, these people are not doing what Trump was. It's like, they're just doing their job. You're never going to be happy. That's why it cracks me up when I see people talking about, we need to get rid of all of these conservative judges because they're not doing. I'm like, so you just want to eliminate the people that don't think the way you do.
Yes.
And you're yelling at everybody else that they're fascists. But
yes.
You want to get rid of everybody who disagrees with you.
Well, I am going to dip the toe in the politics just for a second because the interesting point I heard was if you look at the justices and the way the media's portrayed them over the past, 30, 40 years, right? It's the conservative, it's the liberal, and then it's the swing votes, right?
That's John Roberts. Yeah.
So what the gentleman said was, you notice how you will see, quote unquote, the swing votes and even Republicans bounce on the issues.
Of course.
Right? They will always go, one or two might go, yeah, I agree over here, right? But you never see these so-called liberal justices change. They're in lockstep. That's all they do, right? They can't, not even one of them can cross over and go, you know what? This sort of, from a legal perspective,
right,
and say XYZ. Never do it. So I just find it funny when they get mad at them.
You'll get some 9-0 judgments, but they're usually so obvious that you're like, well, they really couldn't make an argument this way. So, but yeah, I mean, again, I just think it's funny because nothing that they did, I still got to go and pay my rent or my mortgage. I still got to go pay my car payment. Like until they make a decision that is going to tell me one way or the other, that's really, really affecting me. I know everybody's going to say, well, that's fine. You're just being selfish as a white male. It doesn't affect you. You know what? Fine. I'll take it. That's fine. You know what? Politics are local.
Yes.
And as local as you can get is within your house. So that's where I'm starting from.
Yes.
And then I'll work my way out and, okay, how does it affect my friends, my family? And then I'll go out further. I don't care what anybody says. If you're not concerned with the people around you first, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. So.
Yep. No, I mean, and that was truly the foundation of our country was, yes, they came up with this great federal setup, but it was never meant to be the primary other than on a few items. Everything else was supposed to be in your town hall, your county, etc. Right. That is where your government was supposed to be. And we've gotten so far away from that.
Well, yeah, I mean, and originally, because I've been watching a lot of, like, Netflix has a great series right now on the American Revolution. It's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, originally when they were breaking away, the whole reason they had the First Continental Congress and the Second Continental Congress, they couldn't agree on how they were going to do all this stuff.
Yes.
And quite frankly, they were almost like, well, we'll just be different. We'll just be different countries. Like, you can be Virginia. We're going to be South Carolina. You could be Massachusetts. We don't care.
Yeah.
And they, that was the whole thing. I think it was Ben Franklin that did the snake that was cutting, the rattlesnake that's cut into all the pieces. And it's something along the lines of divided we fall or whatever it is, that they're like, we have to stay together or this is never going to work. And they were right, because if they hadn't, and it's also interesting. And I think eventually, and historians could probably argue this better than I could, I think eventually, just logistically, I think we would have been able to break away from England anyway. Maybe not in 1776, 77, 78, but down the road, had we lost the Revolutionary War, I think eventually we would have done it again. But it is amazing watching those things. And again, I got to trust them because I'm not the historian on this, how close we were numerous times of it going, of like,
oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, for you saw it. I mean, we're talking 7-8 years that the revolution went on. People forget that, and it was just a matter of we hung on and won certain battles that we needed to, lost a lot of others, but we just hung on long enough to eventually make the Parliament of Britain go, we're kind of done with this. This is becoming a problem. So
in France, I mean, let's be honest, France coming in. And bringing
help
their
push,
fleet, and trapping Cornwallis down in Yorktown, and the French just kind of sucked the life out of them. As again, Washington for everything that he did, he lost a lot of battles that really could have just ended things, but was able to retreat enough, and as you said, just keep backing up, regrouping, that eventually they were able to get enough of those battles won that by the time the French decided to get involved, again, thanks to Ben Franklin going over there and getting them involved. And of course, the French were like, sure, because they hated the English. Right. It's true. They didn't like each other. So the French were like, yeah, okay. But they wanted to see, okay, we want to get involved in this, but we want to be on the winning side of all of it. Like they weren't going to be like, yeah, we'll help and hopefully it works out. It was kind of like, well, are you sure you can win? Because we don't want to get in another skirmish with the English and lose again. But they won a big battle, I think, in the Chesapeake, that the French Navy beat the English Navy, and that's how the French were then able to sail down towards Yorktown and just hem them in. And that's when I think it was Cornwallis that Yorktown surrendered. He was cooked at that point. So yeah. I mean, but it was precarious from the start, and you have to look at again all these guys. And I don't remember it might have been Franklin, it might have been Jefferson. I can't remember who the quote's attributed to now. I know you've heard it. It's either we hang together or we hang individually. Yeah. Basically, we have to stay together and see this through, or we're all going to be hung for treason separately. It's one of the two. So that's our choice. And I mean, again, they were able to pull it off. It's amazing when you think about how young those guys were that signed the Declaration, that were just like, okay, we're doing this thing. And let's
they were all in their late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah. Not everybody wanted to. People that lived here, there are a lot of people that were spying for the crown and not wanting to do this thing. And so it wasn't like it was, 100% of the country was like, yeah, we'll do this. I mean, and they still were like, okay, well, you can do that, but we're leaving. We're out. So if we win, good luck to you when we take over. So
and no different from what you said earlier. I mean, people had opinions back then, but there was plenty of people throughout the colonies that were like, I'm just trying to grow my crops and feed my family today. Yep. And I have an opinion, but whatever goes on, and if you're in South Carolina and whatever's happening in Philadelphia, whatever, because today I've got to plow this field and grow my cabbage for my family.
Yeah, I would guess there were a lot more people that probably, I'm not going to say a majority of people, but there were probably a lot of people that had no idea that they had even decided to do this for months after it had happened. Because, again, obviously, there's no internet. Even the newspapers weren't widely distributed. If you were living out and farming out in the country, you got your news probably through your church. I think that's probably how you got most of it, right? I mean, if I had to guess. So it just depended. And look, if your minister decided that he was against what was ever going on, he's probably not telling anybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it is crazy to go back and think about everything that they went through, and still we end up here 250 years later, and we're still around and still doing really well.
And still have unhappy people about it. So
we're always going to have unhappy people.
I know.
Again, there's always that segment that no matter what, you could do everything that they asked tomorrow, and their whole thing would be, you should have done it 3 days ago. It's like, you're never going to be happy. If we did it, you wouldn't be happy because now you don't have anything to bitch about. And more importantly, for some of these politicians, now you don't have any reason to raise money. That's the dirty little secret on why some of these things don't ever get passed, and they just want to fight constantly about it because they know they can raise money off of it. That's how they raise money for their candidacy and everything.
Their PACs.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you solve the problem, now there's no reason to put money into it.
Exactly.
There's no reason to run on it. So if you've never thought about this before, that why does this continually come up over and over and over? Now you know.
Now you know.
It's all about the cash.
So let's circle back, though. What are you doing on the 4th?
I don't know.
Oh.
No, I think from what I heard, rumor has it
that
my lovely fiance's sister and her family, so my soon to be, I guess they would be like in-laws, yeah. Whenever we get married, they're coming over. They have 2 kids. Both of them are in high school. I think I want to say the daughter is either going to be a junior or senior this year. I don't remember which it is. She started looking at schools, so I want to say she's going to be a senior, but maybe they started early. I don't know. And I think the son is going to be – she must be going to be a senior because I think he's going to be a sophomore, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, they're going to come over. We'll grill out. I got the smoker, so we'll smoke some dead animals and have some watermelon and – I don't know what they'll probably leave before the fireworks start off. So I think they do some stuff down here in Manassas. I'm sure Prince William County, where I am, does some sort of fireworks. And then I'll come home and watch the ones on DC on PBS because I think PBS always shows it. Again,
they always carry it.
It's supposed to be amazing, but I'm not going to be in DC at 11 o'clock at night. No, thank you. I don't need to get home at 2. So.
I agree. I remember the glory of going downtown for the people who haven't done it. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's just kind of a different thing. I mean, I know other large cities have their fireworks, and
not the same.
I don't know. It was just always different being there because you have the monuments, and DC notoriously does not have very tall buildings because of the monument rule. So you get to see a lot of open sky and different angles, and you get to see the monuments, and it's a whole different thing than some of these other cities. And, there are times I miss that.
Yeah.
Because we have nothing similar up here. I mean, yes, like you said, small towns will do some things, but it's not like I know multiple. One year I was able to sit inside the Washington Monument at the top during the fireworks because our station was carrying the musical broadcast. And had to be there all day. What a pain in the butt, but we were there, but got to watch the fireworks from the top level of the Washington Monument. And that was just amazing.
Right.
It's very different with DC. I just don't think other cities, maybe you're used to it. You love your city, but it's just not DC. And I've always told people that it's kind of, it's like New Year's Eve in Times Square. Everyone does things at least once in your life. You need to go to, the ground zero of whatever the event is. New Year's Eve in New York, 4th of July, Washington, D.C. But, of course, I'm going to have to change that now because what you told me of it being such a mess down there.
I think it will change, if not next year, the year after. 2029, it'll be different. I don't care who's in office. I don't care if J.D. Vance or I don't care who wins. Doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat, third party, whatever. It won't be the same. I think this is, for whatever reason, I think this is just a Trump thing with the state fair stuff that they're doing or whatever. I don't know. I think, again, and I'll be honest with you, again, I don't even think it's Trump. I think it's the people that are around him that are just like psychopaths and want seriously, it just want control over everything because they're so worried. Oh no, what if somebody puts a banner up? What is it? Who cares? Local protests have happened forever.
Every day, all the time in DC. It always happens.
Who cares? There were people camped over there on the ellipse across from the White House for literally years protesting nuclear weapons when Ronald Reagan was president. I can remember all. They were there forever. I don't know how they afforded to do it. I have no clue who was funding them. I don't know why you'd want to live in a tent. I never cared that much about anything to be like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to camp out outside this house for a year just to protest. I mean, good for them. That's dedication.
Well, not anymore, but I remember, was it, what's that park? That's across the street.
Lafayette Park.
Huh? Lafayette Park.
Lafayette Park, I think.
Yeah, there was always someone there protesting something in a camping situation, right?
Yes.
Which is, it's fine. And, to be worried about it, but I remember all the time, it was like you said, it was nuclear weapons, abortion. There was always some sort of long-term protest over there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Lafayette Protest Park. That's what we should call it.
You just get used to it. You're just like, oh,
yes.
Okay. Who is it this week? And you're like, oh, okay, that's their sign. It's fine. Who can
It's
again,
DC.
I've never seen an administration that is so just worried about anything that's said. Like, as we talked about, you can go all the way back. People hated George Washington, I'm sure, when he was president. People hated Thomas Jefferson up and down the line. I mean, obviously, there have been problems throughout our history with this. You're no different. Not everyone is going to love you.
Correct.
It is. I don't understand because you've got your section of people that no matter what happens, they're going to support you. I don't know. That's just what it is. I don't get it. I can't be that all one-sided of I support everything you do. I'm weird that way. I do it. So what are you worried about? You've got those people. No matter what somebody holds up, those people aren't suddenly going to be like, well, they've got a point there. I guess I don't support him anymore. That's not going to happen. It's never in the history of everything. No one has seen a protest sign and been like, hadn't really considered that. I guess I'll go home now and change my mind. That's not happening. You know what I mean? That's not going on. So I don't understand why they're so sensitive about it. This should have been the biggest party.
Yes.
And I still think, look, if you want to go down and celebrate and do all that stuff, like you said, there's nothing better than sitting at the Lincoln Memorial and looking across and watching the fireworks up there and the Washington Monument kind of in the background as they go off. It's very cool. Or literally just even sitting on the lawn, on the mall. You don't even have to be up at the Lincoln Memorial. Oh, that's a great spot to watch from. Just sitting on the mall is fantastic. Watching from Gravely Point across the river is fantastic. All these places, as you said, it doesn't matter. It's not Washington, D.C. And I know that's not where it all started in 1776.
No.
Where it is now. And that's where the seat of power is. And it's just, again, you said it perfectly, the openness. You're not in amongst high-rise buildings because you can't build anything taller than a certain number of feet as by rule in Washington, D.C. It's just, there's nothing like it. As you said, I don't know how to describe it to people
who haven't seen it. Yeah.
So you've been down there, even watching it on TV. It's cool and it looks great. And I'm sure I'll get chills at some point when they do certain shots of the city with the fireworks if I stay up and watch it at midnight. But unless you've been down there, you know what? I'll preface it with this. Unless you've been down there and you actually love the country, there's nothing like it.
No.
If you hate living here, or you are one of these people who can't separate this current administration from the country and what it stands for right now, then yeah, you probably wouldn't get it. But if you think that the vast majority of the 350 plus million people living here actually are good people, then yeah, you kind of look around and go, this is pretty cool. Because I don't the last time you were down there, I can remember we tried at one point to like count how many different languages we heard in one day. And it's hard because you don't know. I mean, certain languages sound the same. But I mean, I can just remember we ducked into the Air and Space Museum because air conditioning.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not kidding. It was Spanish, which you hear that around here all the time. Japanese, you hear that around all the time. But then you would hear like Farsi and, French and German, Russian. I think we got to about a dozen different languages before we tapped out because we're like, were these the same? Like, you just don't know. Like, was that Japanese or was that Korean? You don't know because I don't speak either one, and they kind of sound the same. So but it's incredible because you're just like, this is amazing that all these people. Well, even today when I went down, when we were walking up and you got to go through security and everything, and we had our stuff sort of putting. Again, we were filming stuff, so I'm putting like the tripod, the sticks through the the little security measure thing. The people behind us were from Germany. They were speaking German. And I'm thinking, why are you here? Like, I guess, you go to these buildings, but like these are office buildings. It's not even the Capitol. Like, you're not really going to see anything here except you walk the halls and, okay, maybe you see the names. Like we walked by AOC's office. We walked by Steve Scalise's office.
Did you stop and say hi?
Yeah, I don't know. No, I didn't. I didn't talk.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they were there.
Okay.
I didn't see anybody other than the congressman that we went to see. I didn't see anybody else.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's AOC. That's Scalise. That's Mike Johnson. Like, no, I didn't.
You should have.
I'm thinking like if I went to Germany, maybe this is just somebody's gonna be like, oh, you're just a stupid American. Fine. If I went to Germany, I don't know that I would go out of my way in Berlin, would it be?
Yep. Yeah, to find their seat of government.
I go out of my way to see their state little capital thing or country capital, whatever you want to call it, nation's capital, and like go in and be like, I just want to look around and see what this is like. I don't know that I would do that. So that's why I was kind of calling, like, I don't know why you're here, but cool. You're here. You're checking things out, and what a cool week here. So I don't know.
Well, Bill,
soccer fans, I don't know, but
I would say maybe they were here for soccer or something else. I mean, DC is just an international city, so
yeah,
there was always people of foreign nature around.
Yes.
But it's similar to that. Laffy just made me think when we did our road trip a couple of years ago. We stopped in some state capitals.
Yep.
We went to New York and Vermont and kind of walked around and said, so this is how they do it here. So some people have that inquisitive thought about government.
But see, you've got that cool thing because how many states did you do? All 48?
40. Well, we didn't go to Montana and North Dakota.
You missed those.
Yes. Just the weather and timing didn't work out.
Sure. But so you did 46 of the 48 states.
Yeah. And so to encompass it, though, obviously Hawaii and Alaska were done differently because it wasn't in the RV.
That would be amazing if you had been it.
Right.
Well, Alaska,
pontoons on that sucker.
Yeah. Alaska you could do because you could drive up to Canada, but it's a bit of a hike.
Yep. So. So, technically, 48 of the 50, we, toured around and at least got to look at to see, this is what you do here. This is kind of nice. Or, nope, we'll just keep driving. Thanks. Had that happen a few times.
That's cool, though. You've got me beat because I haven't been to Alaska. I have been to Hawaii. I think I have like maybe 6 or 7 left to do. And Montana would be one of them. That's up there. Obviously the East Coast and the South.
Yeah.
Pretty much done, But a lot of a majority of mine, I would say 90% of mine probably has been because traveling with Mason. So I don't get to go, let's go see how they do this in Vermont State Capitol. I've been to Vermont a couple of different times and I've gone to the University of Vermont. So I've driven through whatever little town that they're in. Are they in Burlington?
Burlington.
Are they
Montpelier's the capital.
Okay. Yeah, maybe
University of Vermont's in Burlington.
Okay, so I've been there. I've been through Vermont before because, again, I have relatives all through New England and Maine and everything. So I've done all that. But the way you did it, that's just really cool because because you like being an American, you like living here in the United States. So you go out and see it. It's cool. You know, that's awesome.
I've said this to my son, my stepkids, other people, young people that I work with. I say, hey, look, while you're young, if you can figure it out, just go do it. I mean, we used to laugh at, the old school story was, if you took the gap year or people, the people older than us would be like, but no, I really believe it's go out there and see it, just go experience it 6 months, 3 months, just drive around and see what you see and learn some things. Because to my son, he remembers just a tad bit, but as he says, it was part of his education because he does remember some things. Yeah. And especially when he goes through the picture book we made, he claims that that's part of his education is being out and doing those things. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great. I mean, I was always one of these people too when I was growing up because we didn't do family vacations like that. Like I've told this story plenty of times. The first plane ride I ever took, I was 23, I think, and it was with Mason. I've still, our family never got on a plane all together as a family and went somewhere. We just drove everywhere. And it was always to Pennsylvania for my dad's and my grandparents there, or it was to Maine for my mom's grandmother up, my grandmother in Maine and my cousins in Maine. So we didn't do all that stuff. But I always said when I was younger, I was like, I don't care about going to Europe because there's still so many places in America that I want to see before I worry about going over there. Now, I went to Spain again with Mason, so that was the only reason why I ended up there. And it was cool. We did like 8 or 9 days there, and it was fun, but you're going from city to city, and you're kind of at their mercy to see stuff. But going to taking the trips to the Caribbean, like the snorkeling trips, that has been really fun because you do go, and when we went to do it, we don't stay, and this is going through 2 different relationships. We don't stay, I don't do the hotels. Okay. I don't go stay in like the Marriott Beach Resort. You get like an Airbnb or whatever it is, and you stay out of the tourist section, and then you're doing your grocery shopping at the local grocery store. You're eating your meals at the local restaurant that's right there in whatever town that you're living in. I think you get a better sense of the people. I'm not saying you're immersed in the culture because you're not, because you're still a tourist and you're still just going to their beaches and snorkeling and stuff like that. But it's cool. Always have a rental car when I go because you do. Hey, you know what? If it's going to rain for an afternoon or the waves are up and you can't snorkel, go drive. There's been some of the most fun things I've done is just gotten whoever I'm with, like, let's go for a drive. Just get the map out. Show us so we don't get lost. Just pick something on the map that looks interesting. Let's drive there. That's so much fun. I love doing that kind of stuff. That's kind of like what you guys did with your RV trip in the States. Yeah. And obviously move on to another relationship. It's what we do now. We'll go places. Yes, there's Walmarts. There's all that stuff is everywhere. But we will seek out like, hey, that diner looks interesting. That's where we're going to eat today. Yeah. Or we'll avoid the highway sometime. If we can look at the map and go, okay, we still end up there. We'll just take this back road to see what we see. And to me, that's much more enjoyable for the same reasons of, oh, so this is what the locals do, or this is what they expect versus the, international conglomerate chain of whatever that looks the same here as it does there. You really get a different sense of the people and the culture if you can get away from some of that stuff.
And that's why we should be celebrating 250. Did you see the world's biggest ball of yarn?
No.
Okay. I haven't either. No. I just didn't know if you went by there or not.
No.
I didn't know where it is, but I know.
Don't even know.
I know it's in the United States somewhere. So I don't know. So you had something else that you told me that you wanted to talk about this week.
It's a big thing for our age group. Today in 1984, and we've talked about what the summer of 84 was like, in terms of music and other things, was the introduction by the Motion Picture Association of the rating PG-13.
Oh, wow. So we were 13. when it
Yes.
almost. If it came out July 1st,
They didn't use it till August, but it was announced that was the new category.
Okay.
July 1st, 1984.
Yeah, so I was
because
close to being 13. I was right in the wheelhouse for PG.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you know, it's kind of funny if you sit now and think about it, like, oh, that makes sense. You know, 13-year-olds, kind of a good age where you start to become more of an adult, less of a child. And you think about movies. Oh, yeah. Because for those who don't remember, it went G, R, and G, PG,
right,
R, and X.
Right.
I mean, that covers some ground there, but
yeah, and R was 17.
yes,
Why? This is the one I never understood because
NC-17.
Well, yeah, they have that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but for R-rated movies, it was 17. But like when we were growing up, to drink alcohol at that point, it was 18.
It's 18.
You know, you could vote at 18 and everything. I'm like, I never understood. I'm like, why wouldn't you just go in line with everything else that, the line that says you're an adult and that's 18? What's the, why say, I never understood that. Why R was like, well, 17. Ultimately, it didn't matter, but you're right. I mean, you'd have PG, which basically said all the way up to 16, and then you had R. I mean,
Yes.
there's no middle ground. So I
Yeah.
guess G was like, I mean, it's for all ages.
Disney animation.
But wasn't it cut off like 7 or 8 or something, and then it had to be PG? I don't remember exactly why.
No, I think G was always stood for general audiences.
Yeah, general
And then
audience, but
they felt
parental
anyone
guidance
could go
was
watch
PG.
it.
Yeah, the PG was parental guidance, which means you didn't have to have a parent, but they
Yes.
just suggested that it wasn't for. But like, what does that? Like, what does that mean? Like, like, yeah, 16-year-old and a 5-year-old, it's still PG. The parents think that you can go. Do you remember your first R-rated movie?
If I remember correctly,
Yep.
was it? I don't know if it was. It was just this family story of my first R-rated movie. I'm pretty sure it was Grease.
Oh, okay.
Because I was staying in the Carolinas while my parents were off doing something, and
Okay.
my aunts, i.e., my mother's younger sisters, took me with them to see Grease. And I think it was R. I could be wrong. Because I remember it was a big deal. I was like, they took me to see this movie.
Let's see.
Just based on...
There wasn't nudity in Grease, though, was it?
No, but there's a lot of sexual innuendo.
Oh,
and
totally.
obviously back then it was a little bit more...
Yeah, you know what? Now PG according to IMDb.
It was? Okay.
And
All right.
And then it's been re-rated PG-13.
Okay.
But I guess when it came out, according to IMDb, so don't yell at me if it's wrong.
Yeah.
It was PG.
No, well, and I couldn't remember how it was rated then. I just knew it was I'm not supposed to be here, but I was.
But that's a great point, though, because it probably was like, well, this should probably be R, but there's no nudity. And
Correct.
I mean, now the language, like, you're like, how are we going to hit R for? Well, the sexual innuendo, they were smoking cigarettes. That was a thing. Smoking cigarettes and language was always a thing on how things got rated. So
Strong sexual content.
exactly. But yeah, you can see why you'd be like, is this R? Is this PG? Is this R? Is this PG? Like,
yeah.
But
after that, I can't tell you, just because. So growing up in rural Virginia,
yep.
the theater was 45 minutes to an hour, other side of Richmond. You rarely just went to the movies. Like, it had to be something big, special, which meant without a driver's license, it was someone's parent taking you. So you weren't going to be going all the time, sneaking in movies. You were going to go see whatever was appropriate.
Right.
And I remember, when I got my license, 16, 17, no one carded us. I mean, yeah, we were. So I can't even tell you what the first R-rated. I never even thought about it. It was just, hey, we're going to go see this, and we went to see it because usually it was other 16 and 17-year-olds manning the ticket booth who just said, "Okay, here's your ticket."
Right.
So I don't quite remember what would have been necessarily the first rate. How about for you?
I remember because it was Scott Baio.
Oh.
This would have been 1982.
Okay.
I had just turned 11. And the neighbors, my dad and our neighbor, and his son was 2 years older than me. And he got his oldest son, who was 4 years older than me. So there's the five of us that went. And we went to see a little thing called Zapped.
Zapped.
Do you remember Zapped?
No, I'm going to have to look this up now.
It's Scott Baio, who's like kind of a geeky high school kid who suddenly develops telekinesis.
Oh, my goodness.
So he has telekinetic powers, which means he can make skirts go up, which means he can make bras pop off.
Willie Ames. Look at that.
Yes,
and Heather
Willie
Thomas.
Ames, yes. It was the Happy Days and 8 is Enough.
Yes.
Crossover. Yeah.
And a young Heather Thomas, too.
Yes. and a very, very awkward sitting there watching nudity with like your buddy's dad and your dad like in the movie theater together. And, I'm like, this is a little weird. My dad's like in his mid 40s. So I think about it now. He was. I mean, 1982, my dad was 44.
Yeah.
Or almost 44. So, yeah, I mean, they're just like, yeah, let's go see this movie. And we're like, I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, all right, let's go. I mean, anytime you got to go to the movies, it was
movies.
Cool. And they were like, yeah, Scott Baio's in it. I'm like, Chachi? I got to go see Chachi. Like, why wouldn't I go see Chachi? Of course. And then you get in there, you're like, whoa, this is awesome. There are boobs everywhere.
Well, so that, this, when I just looked it up, reminds me. I mean, it seems in that the glory decade of the 80s, the amount of movies that were these kind of raunchy comedies.
Yes.
Yes. Where did they go? Why aren't they still around?
Well, because you can't do this anymore because it's really creepy. I mean, it is really creepy. So, I mean, I kind of get why some of those have gone away. I mean, you did have later on, like Old School, I think would fall in that kind of category.
Sorta, yes.
I think it would. It would. I mean, is Old School that much? I mean, in that type of genre, much different than Animal House?
No.
Right. So,
no,
I mean,
it's the same.
You'd have that,
But what I get the difference is, to me, is those, and I didn't see Zapped, but I'm just thinking the other ones like Up the Creek and all these others. Where it's almost, they said,
Porky's.
Let's write the nude scenes first.
Well, yeah, of course.
And then we'll fill in dialogue and storylines after the fact. They start with, that's, the raunchiness first, and then we'll go fill in the gaps.
Yeah. I mean, you had Varsity Blues with the whipped cream bikini.
Yeah.
That was in the 90s, I think it was. So, I mean,
that was order.
Yeah. So, I mean, they've been made. They haven't been made lately. And that is an argument. And I listen to a lot of podcasts with comedians and everything. Mm-hmm. And that is an argument that a lot of them make, that you can't make those movies that cross the line anymore. You just can't do it, even if it's comedy. I guess they're trying to make the argument that these roasts are now kind of that thing, because you can tell the inappropriate jokes and all the other stuff. It's not the same.
No.
You get from them, like from a comedian standpoint, where else do you have that outlet?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not saying that we should have these anymore, because I would feel weird as a 55, almost 55 now, year old man going to a movie that was about high school sex romps.
True.
Like Zapped is described as. So I would feel a little weird.
But all those movies were not that I wanted. I just remember, like you said, Revenge of the Nerds, Porky's, all these. Like, it was just that genre for that decade of, and I admit, most of them I saw because we could go to the video store, pull the VHS, and the old guy who may have had questionable things going on in his life, as long as you handed him the money, he'd hand you the tape and send you out the door. So,
look, again, it's on a much different level, obviously, because slavery is ridiculous. So don't think I'm comparing the two, but judging what movies and everything were made back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s with today's moral standard is ridiculous. You can't do it. It'd be like, again, it's like judging slavery. Like, we know now, it horrible, awful, terrible, should never have happened to anybody. It still happens in other parts of the world today. It's still going on, which is mind-blowing. But I can't judge Jefferson and Washington, and you can't judge them on today's standards. The same thing with like movies from the 80s. Yeah, you go back and watch, and we talked about this, about like Breakfast Club, and how completely inappropriate some of the things and languages and things that they said, but also very real to the time, I think.
Yes. Yep.
And so you can look at that and go, again, Gen Z kids today probably look at it and go, what is this? How dare they? And we just kind of go,
how dare they?
Well, yeah, I mean, seriously. And we just kind of go, I mean, it is what it is. That's kind of okay. We don't do that. We don't make those movies anymore. We don't do that anymore. But, you know, it's
but
just
it was freedom of expression at the time.
Yes. And you see, and they were hit movies. People love them.
Right.
And I'll be honest, I don't remember a single female friend of mine going to these movies, because some of these were date night movies. You would take a date with you. I don't remember any of them ever. And somebody will say, well, they just didn't feel like they could. They couldn't stand up. Okay, whatever. Not a single one of them ever went, I didn't really like, I was very uncomfortable throughout the entire experience. You know? Maybe if they were hanging out with me, that was why they were uncomfortable, but it wasn't the movie. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think. We would go once I got a license and was dating. We just go see whatever, because that was the entertainment. Well, this is playing. We're going to go see it. Okay.
Exactly.
There was never a thought of, like you said, that can be offensive. Maybe we shouldn't. We just went to the movies. Whatever was out popular, we go see it.
Exactly. No one sat there and thought, well, what kind of things is it?
What is this teaching us?
Yes. What are you really trying to get out of this? I don't think this is the correct. Like, relax. Good Lord. One of the first. I mean, not that this is necessarily a bad movie, but I can remember one of the first date movies that I went on between my sophomore and junior year of high school. I guess no, this was between my junior and senior year of high school, when I started dating my high school girlfriend. Well, I took her to see Bull Durham. Like that was the date night movie. Like, I'm sure that's not a great date night movie. You know, like it's a baseball movie with some other things involved. But you're, like you said, you're just kind of like, all right, well, what's playing? Let's go see that. I took another date to Rocky IV. It's like, why are you going to Rocky IV? Maybe that's why the relationship didn't last.
She held that against
me. On a date to Rocky IV. And if
I
remember right, it was her pick. I said, let's go to the movies. What do you want to see? Rocky IV. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Right? It was kind of the same. Dating, movies is all kind of blurred. We just went. We just said, okay, we know these are playing. You'd show up. Oh, it's 7:30. Well, what do we got to choose from? Okay, let's go see that. There, it just wasn't anything other than we're going to go see a story for an hour and a half or two, and hopefully it's entertaining.
Right.
And nowadays people get so worked up about,
everything
like
has
you said,
to have a message. Yeah,
correct.
Everything has to have a message. Everything has. Are you doing this? Are they making fun of women? Are they doing like whatever it is? You're just like, oh, can we please just be entertained?
Yes, just entertain me.
Did thinking about this, you wonder if like a movie like The Blues Brothers, which came out in 1980, so it was pre PG-13. If PG-13 had been around, that's probably not an R-rated movie, right? I would think so. Yeah, it would have fallen under that second. It gave them the outlet to kind of go, okay, you can be PG-13. I don't think it would have been an R. Because I'm trying to think. I don't recall a lot of nudity, if any. Yeah. The Blues Brothers, it probably was the language. There's a lot of gunplay. Yes. But I don't I mean, car wrecks and stuff like that. To me, it was a little more edgy than like Smokey and the Bandit, as far as like the crash, the cars piling up, like that scene when the hundreds of cop cars when they're driving through the mall.
Love that.
Fantastic scene. But I'm trying to remember. I don't remember there being like nudity or I don't know. Am I misremembering on that?
Well, I'm asking Gemini the question because I'm curious. Like, let's bring in someone else and see what they say.
Please. What does it say?
Yes, absolutely. If the Blues Brothers were released today or anytime after the PG-13 rating was introduced in '84, it easily land a PG-13 rating.
Okay.
The film's 80 R rating is a classic case of the old school rating that has not aged the same way modern R-rated films have. When you break down the actual content, it aligns perfectly with modern PG-13 standards.
There you go.
So,
all right.
Yep. Back then, the 1980 rule, hitting the frequency of severe profanity triggered the automatic non-negotiable R rating when it came out.
See, it was all about the language because I don't remember there being nudity in the Blues Brothers.
Ooh, the modern standard. How about this? Right. Modern PG-13 guidelines typically allow one non-sexual use of the F word. So the Blues Brothers today would easily loop out or substitute a few words in post-production to secure the PG-13.
Okay.
There we go. And the violence is pure cartoonery.
Yes, that's what I said. Yep. It was Smokey and the Bandit type car crashes.
We're just going to bang up some cars.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone walks away. Dukes of Hazzard.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. And I don't think anybody, there was a cop car that drove off a bridge, right?
Yeah, but he swam away.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't think there's any like massive amounts of like death in the Blues Brothers. So, do we know? Did you pull up the first ever PG-13?
Oh yes. Can you guess what it is?
I haven't. Is 84. I was actually asking Carrie about because you would kind of tip me off to like what we might be talking about, like R-rated, and I was like, okay, 1984. Give me some movies because I said Gary mentioned we were going to talk about 84 movies, and she said like Weird Science or something. And I was like, well, no, that was prior to 84.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got nothing. I don't remember. It's terrible because like we talked about 86 or 85 being like the really good
85 is a good year. Yep.
Yeah. So I got nothing. I don't know. What was it?
So it was a very American movie considering we were in July 4th.
Okay.
It was Red Dawn was the first PG-13 movie.
There you have it. Okay. August 10th, 1984.
Yes.
Red Dawn. That is a
lot of violence.
The remake sucked, by the way.
I never even saw that.
Yeah. Patrick Swayze, right? In Red Dawn, the first one?
Yes, he was.
Who else was in that?
Was it C. Thomas Howell?
Yeah. Okay.
Charlie Sheen in that? Nope. Hold on.
No.
It's a bunch of young kids who all look the same back then. There we go.
That is true.
Right? Patrick Swayze, Jennifer Grey, Charlie Sheen, C. Thomas Howell, Leah Thompson.
Yep.
And that's the core of the kids.
Yeah. That's a pretty good cast.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good cast.
So, Charlie being Charlie in a war movie.
Yeah.
Before his other war movies.
Well, I mean, and I remember going to see that movie in the theater, and I mean, this got some intense scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it was a serious movie for that time.
Yeah.
I mean, because it was. I mean, we were kind of through the Cold War, but we were still.
No. The wall was still up at that point.
Yeah, but I remember not being quite as on edge about it. Like,
okay,
we were heading toward resolution, at least in my mind, but still, like, oh, this could happen.
Right,
you have to be prepared.
Well, I don't think I was worried about the Russians. And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen a movie that's not 42 years old, it's a great movie. You should
cover your ears now. So we can talk about
it. See the original. Don't see the remake. The remake sucked. The original is really good. But yeah, I don't remember sitting in the theater going, "This could happen," like the Russians invading.
Yeah.
But I just remember thinking, like, it was really intense. Like they did a really good job. Like, you know, the guy that the Russians kidnapped and forced him to eat, you know, swallow the little blinker. I mean,
the tracker.
The tracker. Yeah.
Yep.
And then they end up, again, spoiler alert, putting they put the grenade under him. So when they found him, they blew him up and the Russians.
Yeah.
That was a wild, I mean, like, again, you're 13. They're I mean, they probably weren't. They're probably in their 20s, but they were playing teenagers.
Correct.
And you're like, oh my gosh, could I actually do that to like one of my friends? Like, you got to stay here and you're dead. Like, that's it. You got to stick here and you're taking a couple Russians with you. But sorry, this is the end of the line. It was crazy.
It was a different America then, Bill.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
We had 16-year-olds lying to get in the Army to be in D-Day. I mean, it was a different world then.
Even 40 years after D-Day, it was a different world. Because it was about 40. It was 39 years after D-Day. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that was an intense movie. You know?
Well, in that and just the intensity of, again, they weren't teenagers, but they were playing teenagers, people our age,
right.
And we're seeing what they had to do to survive. I mean, it wasn't a joke. It wasn't, you know, anything that any of us experienced growing up at that age. Because again, we didn't have World War I, World War II, and we were kind of isolated from the wars, if you will, falling in our age group. I mean, Vietnam existed, but it was still kind of
it was done.
It was done, and no one wanted to talk about it. So, you know, it wasn't. We didn't get our dose of war till we got to the 80s with Red Dawn and Commando and some of the other Delta Force.
Yeah,
it made a comeback.
But with all that, like you think about the Commandos, the Red Dawns, the later Rambo ones. Rambo 1 was pretty good.
Yeah.
But as far as being somewhat realistic, but that was the thing with Red Dawn. Is it wasn't like you had all these things like, oh, they snuck around and they were able to, you know, blow up all this, that, like the 5 of them that defeated the Red Army. That's not how it worked.
No.
Like, it was relatively, I think, realistic about how they had to sneak into town, not get caught. Remember that the Russian soldiers saw 2 of them stealing the produce at one point and felt bad for them and let them go. Like, it wasn't like the stuff that they were doing.
It wasn't glorified like the other movies.
And completely over the top. Like one guy took out, you know, 35 different, like, you know,
there was no Chuck Norris.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There's like, you know, or even like, oh, look, there's 8 stormtroopers and none of them can hit Han Solo. Like, you're like, come on. Like, maybe I'm misremembering. I don't remember a scene like that in Red Dawn where you were like, really? A 16-year-old kid with a hunting rifle just took out, you know, 5 elite Russians. So, like, that didn't happen.
And the tank that was with them, yes.
Yeah, and the tank. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, yeah, like that kind of stuff. As far as I remember, maybe I'm
No, it wasn't.
I don't remember it being over the top like that. So
no.
Anyway, so yeah, there you go. Red Dawn, first ever PG-13 movie, changed movie landscape on this date back in 1984. And yeah, I'm with you said, was it who'd you ask? Not Perplexity. Who did you ask?
Oh, Gemini.
I'm with Gemini.
Yes.
I don't think Blues Brothers would have been an R had it come out a few years later. I don't think Grease would have been. Well, it wasn't an R. I think it would have been PG-13.
PG-13. It would have been.
It would have been PG-13. That's for sure. So there are probably some other ones we could think of that fell in that line. And I think back then they erred on the side of make it an R.
Yes.
You know, like they just we're just sorry, it's an R. Too bad for you. That's it. So, all right. Anything else before we get out of here? Do you have any parting words? Anything else that you wanted to get to? How's things in Maine? Is it as crazy hot as it is here?
It was abusive today. Abusive. We were well into the 90s with, I think last I looked, it was 96% humidity. Oof. And today was my work in the yard day, and it was miserable, but we got through it. And a couple more days of this, I think we're hitting our cool down mark.
Nice. All right, well, good. Hopefully you guys survive all that. All right. So any final words before we
just gonna say happy 250th birthday, America. You're still looking pretty good.
This concludes this episode of Gen X Men with Bill Rowland and Gary Dollarhite. Gen X Men is now off the air.